Hello and welcome to number 36 of the Digital Homicides podcast Streamcast thingy. With me, as always, is Lothar in the background. And today we are gonna continue to watch that video on YouTube about Digital Homicides. So let me switch over here and get Lothar in here. Hi, Lothar.
Right on. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Okay, really big and prominent in the back. Well, he's a big guy, big girl actually, since he's transitioning. Jim Sterling, right here, and yeah.
At times seems still Jim Sterling.
At that time, yeah, still Jim Sterling exactly. But yeah, for those who don't know yet, he's transitioning. So he's what's his name? Stephanie now?
Yeah.
I think Stephanie. Yeah, I can see you. that was funny. All right. Well, I guess we start right away because we have like 40 minutes or so left of that great video that we will totally.
Yes, and last time it was hour and a half on or something like that to go through 25 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. So
Uh,
I guess
so
this time we pause less, but the stuff we need to talk about comes in about what, like 15 minutes or something like that. Wasn't it around 45 something?
No, stuff that we need to talk about is 101.
Oh God. Okay, well, I guess we get this thing going here.
I think we're just gonna go like whatever we have time right now, and somewhere about 30 minutes before we'll end, we'll just skip ahead to that 101 and forget about the rest.
Yeah, we just go with it and see what we do, I guess.
Yeah.
So, are you ready?
Basically, he's so interesting guy that
Yeah, it's that guy is as much fun to watch as Digital Homicide games are fun to play.
you could at least refund digital homicide games.
We can't refund the time watching that freaking video, but we kind of have to take care of it. You will know why in, well, in a few minutes. A few minutes.
And if you participated in it, you're here on your own volition. We didn't force you to be here.
Oh yes, we force everybody. Be here, watch it, suffer with us.
Hey, I'm just saying that to not get mm, under the trial of the court martial.
Yeah, and don't blame us for any psychological problems you might have after watching this video.
Yeah, psychological reaction, diarrhea, whatever. Not relate to this. Blame that guy, not
Yeah, the other guy
not
who.
Stephanie Sterling, the guy who's talking.
Yeah, blame the YouTube creator that we don't name. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, go go with the countdown.
Oh, okay. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
Wow. Just wow. For someone who criticizes indie Steam developers for lacking any professionalism or decorum, you sure seem to be willing to throw cuss-filled insults at game developers on a whim and lose your shit a lot. Maybe you should move out of your glass house before you throw stones at others. I'm pretty sure there's a word for guys like you. I think it begins with the letter H. I think it's 3 syllables long, but I just can't put my finger on it right now. Oh well, life goes on. So now that I've
Moose.
torn to shreds the accusations that Digital Homicide are temper tantrum throwing man-children who simply can't take criticism, while showing you that Sterling himself is just as bad as he accuses Digital Homicide of being, let's talk about the next most popular insult people often like to throw at Digital Homicide.
That game.
The fact that they are not only asset flippers, but archetypal asset flippers. First, I'd like to point out this little gem from Sterling. When Sterling made his video, Digital Homicide surfaces with some incredible BS. He publicly responds to a number of things they state in their blog posts. At one point in his video, he says the following.
Contrary to massive amounts of articles and videos on the topic, I never took a complete project and published it under Digital Homicide like it was my game. Look, mate, I invented the term asset flip. I know what it means, you asset flipper. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, Jim, let me get this straight. Because you
What?
coined
Pause.
the term, that means
Yeah.
I think Jim, as a person who created definition asset flip, have a better, more understanding what asset flip is. So yeah, I have no idea what the problem with that.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's not like Jim didn't explain that in painful detail already what asset flips are. I mean,
Jim Sterling, Sid Alpha, Mellow.
yeah, everybody. I mean, we talked about asset flips and stuff. So, but yeah, Sterling was basically, as far as I remember, the first who made it prominent.
He maybe even invented the term as well.
Yeah, might be. I paused at 3304.
3304. Yep.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
that you have ultimate authority to determine who is and isn't.
That was
an
actually the
asset
best
flipper,
game they ever made.
regardless of the evidence, regardless of the facts, and to
Game-
the
That's
exclusion
sad.
of all
Game they
other
made
factors.
in quotes.
No matter how little someone might fit the definitions that you have laid out for what an asset
It was a
flip
Dungeons of
is,
Crackmore, I
if
think.
you, in your soul,
You remember the
discretion
name of
decide
this
someone
thing?
is
Yeah, I played
an
it.
asset flipper, then
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
know that you
matter
played
what
it.
the objective
I'm more
facts are.
surprised that you remember
Is
the
that
name.
it? Because
Well,
that's basically what you
Some
sounded
stuff
like when you
gets
said
burnt
it.
into my memory,
Also,
sadly.
once again, the magician is distracting you from the lie while getting you to focus your attention where he wants you to.
I want to
Digital
remind you
Homicide
that you
outright
was the one
states that they
who
used these
proposed
store-bought assets
we
as a
even react
basis
to
to
that
create
video.
something original. Something
Well.
Sterling had said in the past was an acceptable use of assets. However, he completely ignores that sentence here, instead preferring to invoke his absolute authority to decide who is and isn't an asset flipper to the exclusion of all other factors. So what is an asset
What
flip?
factors?
Well,
Yeah.
according to Sterling himself, in both his Jimquisition video, Asset Flip, as well as his Jimquisition video, Talent is an Asset, a genuinely unscrupulous asset flip differs from a good game that simply uses assets, in that the former uses them in a way that isn't original. Okay, so how does that make Digital Homicide an asset flip company?
Right, they took
Problem
a
with this
asset
definition
pack
is that
and
it is
flipped
entirely
it.
subject to the discretion of
They took,
whoever is
yeah.
using the term.
Took
He
an
points
asset
to PlayerUnknown's
pack, took
Battlegrounds as an
unchanged
example of a
text,
game that uses assets without being an
models
asset
and
flip,
whatnot, and just
complaining
put
that
it
there
in
is
one map.
just
Yeah.
too much
And called it
originality in
Slaughtering
that
Grounds.
game for it to be an asset flip.
And
PUBG
everything
looks
they ever
like
created.
PUBG. Violet looks and feels like Violet. However, aside from the occasional example, Sterling fails to provide any real objective guidance on how to use assets in an ethical way. He just says that the
He
use of
provided some
assets is
examples.
acceptable if the game is good
How
overall.
those examples?
If the game is
let me
good,
pause here real
it's-
quick.
And
Yeah, okay.
So to make things clear again, there are asset packs that are basically tech demos where you get, let's say you get an asset pack for a 3D platformer. Then you get the movement, the animations, the level design, textures, all that kind of stuff. And you're supposed to take that as a starting point and do your own stuff with the things that you have in the asset pack. Not take the asset tech demo, put a new name on it, a new logo in the game, and then sell it as your own creation. That's an asset flip. Taking assets like 3D models, textures, effects, and whatnot is totally legit for indie devs because they have no money. So they cannot pay an artist to create 3D models or textures, and if they cannot do it themselves, well, they have to get it somewhere. And you can buy at the moment, for example, different asset packs for the Unreal Engine, for example, on Humble, where you have also on Fanatical, where you have character voiceovers. So let's say you make a shooter, then you have some sentences, like 10 or 20 sentences that an enemy says when you shoot at them, or 10 sentences that your character can say, and stuff like that. Totally legit because voiceovers cost money. So yeah, you can buy that asset pack, cost like 10 or 20 bucks, and then you get a few hundred lines of text and can do with that whatever you want. So yeah, taking assets is totally legit. Everybody does that, kinda. But just taking the asset pack demo and sell them as their own is not okay. That's an asset flip. So yeah.
Yeah, basically, you buying tech demo, like it has already most of the stuff that you need to make a game
Yeah.
within it.
Exactly.
And some people, like those two brothers, used to take just a couple of models from different asset packs, put them in the tech demo, and release that tech demo like a fully developed game.
Yeah, exactly. And the fully developed game contains exactly 3 levels. 2 of them are
Sometimes even one. Don't forget all those shmups that they made.
yeah, that, where they just changed the camera position and released like 5 games in half an hour.
Yeah, and not even changed camera position, just changed the sprites of the enemies.
Yeah, that was they did that with
Too many games to remember.
Wild, was it Wild Derp or something? They had one version where you had it in a third person view and enemies came at you and you could go left and right and basically shoot. And then they released
Both were third person, but one top down perspective, and
yeah, that
one was behind the player.
Exactly, but it was exactly the same game, just changed camera position, and
Yep.
they did
Also,
that with what was it? That witch with a witch, I think they did the same, and I think with spiders.
Sorceress, some kind of girl in the zoo, and basically a toy roulette.
Not in my crapper or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god! At least that game. I don't want to say it's good, but it was from a comedy or parody point of view kinda ingenious, because well, they were kinda shitting on the whole game development community, and releasing that game
unintentional.
I think the same, but well, let's just assume they had that idea. If it was so, yeah, great idea. I mean, the name, they came up with that name. And
Yep.
They
You
basically
can't deny that.
they basically killed Greenlight. So
No, not solely. Let's be honest, not solely.
nah, but they have been
Valve neglects one of the things that killed Greenlight.
yeah, but we have been around for a long time when it comes to Greenlight and all the scammers and stuff.
Yeah, from the start
So
till finish.
yeah, until the end,
We've seen them all.
and more than others.
Remember them all.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, I'm not sure if there's still a way. That there used to be a way still to access your Greenlight votes even after Greenlight. I'm not sure if that still is possible.
I think there is an archive linked to that.
Yeah, I think you can still access that, but I don't remember at the moment. But yeah, some games have actually been good in Greenlight. Two games that I will always remember being Greenlight games. Golf with Your Friends is a Greenlight game, now owned by Team 17, and Scorn was also a Greenlight game. And those two are definitely the best games that came out of Greenlight.
There are a lot more games that came out of Greenlight,
Yeah,
including good games.
Yeah, exactly.
We just can't remember them right now.
That's why I named those two games, because they are pretty good games. I mean, Scorn is not exactly what I expected it to be, but seeing that it
The
is
visuals are great.
yeah, well, it looks freaking awesome, and I think it will win the Steam Awards for visual. Well,
I still hope so. I still have hopes for Shooters Blood and Teeth.
I have to look that up. I don't know that right now. All right. Well, anyway, I'm at 35, 38.
So,
You ready?
uh-huh.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Not an asset flip. If the game is trash and it uses pre-bought assets, it is an asset flip. The problem with that position, however,
Funny, you only
is
see
that
the
it
name of
ceases to be
him.
an issue of ethical business practices like plagiarism, and it instead becomes purely an issue of
Yeah,
artistic
this, by the way, was a
tastes.
multiplayer
It
game.
becomes entirely subjective at that point. Here, try thinking about it this way.
Yay,
Imagine if you were
Slaughtering
playing
Grounds.
Slaughtering Grounds, except that it didn't use store-bought
Oh,
assets.
Friend,
Forget for a minute
that
that this
always
zombie
borrows
guy
money.
is something that you can buy at the Unity Asset Store. Imagine if that was a character model that Digital Homicide created itself. Their own original USPS postbox graphics placed alongside their own original UK phone booth graphics. The music was still a 30-second looping track, but it was music composed by Digital Homicide rather than a royalty-free Kevin MacLeod soundtrack. However, everything else about this hypothetical Slaughtering Grounds is identical in every way to the version of the game that exists in real life. All the bugs, the scarcity of ammunition, the fact that the game consistently crashes after 3 levels, even the graphics themselves are identical
Pause
to
for a moment. Okay, so it's not true that it always crashes after 3 levels. That's bullshit. I played that game for 2 hours, and one level is 15 minutes. Then you play. So this is the first level you play. Then the second level is like an open area at daytime, where, funny enough, you hear a plane, but you will never see it. And I actually managed to see that plane. You will not see the plane in the sky when you look up, because it is flying on ground level. So you can be lucky that you see the plane fly through a mountain, through houses, through the world, and all that kind of shit. Insane. Then right here you can see where the crosshair is. The crosshair is where it belongs, in the middle. But the guns never align one single bit to where the crosshair is. So normally from the barrel you draw a straight line and you should end up in the middle of the crosshair. That's how crosshair works. So you play that for 15 minutes. Every level is 15 minutes. After that, it just loads the next level. After that open area level, you be back in this level again. And that just continues. So it's basically just 2 levels and they just continue, and there's just no end. At one point, you have some boss somewhere and nothing fits together. Yeah. And if they came up with the loop, which I don't think they did, holy shit.
He said hypothetically.
Yeah,
All
okay.
I can say is if DigiHom made all of that stuff on their own, congratulations, the game's still shit.
Yeah, and do one thing. Go to Google image search and search for blood splatter. And be surprised which ones you will find. You will find all the slaughtering ground blood splatters on one page. They just
Yeah, they still here.
Yeah, and they just copied that and didn't even use high quality or anything. No, low shit quality. So yeah, this game is a pain in the ass, and I had to play it for a charity event because we managed to get over the amount that I set as a goal for it. So they kind of made me play that for 2 hours. It was painful.
You basically said that you're gonna do it.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect that we reached that while I'm streaming. But we reached 9,000 or something like that. So, well, it was that event does one thing. Last event wasn't really like that, but normally the admins can, when you stream and when you are a mod or an admin, they can make you do things, or well, they can tell you to do stuff. And yeah, well, I kinda accepted in voice chat that I would play that game when we reach a certain amount before I stream, and we did. So I was like, hey, okay. I played this game for, I'm not sure how many viewers I had, but I think I had like 70 or 100 viewers or so watching me play this shit. Again, I told you earlier, the fart is not working.
I know. I still need this. We don't have set, we don't have farts.
But we should have what I got from playing this game was basically, that's not playing either. What? Okay, wait a second. Why is that not playing? Let me check that. That should play. Yeah, not gonna fix that now. Shit! That sucks. Okay, anyway. So, shall we continue?
I'd say no, but yeah, okay.
36:58.
Yeah, same-ish.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
Real thing, except for the fact that the graphics really were created by the developers instead of store-bought. Would that version of the Slaughtering Grounds suddenly become a good or even acceptable game?
No.
Probably
No.
not. The game would still be shit. Hey, this video was called
He's
In Defense
right.
of Digital Homicide,
He's right about
not
that
In
at least.
Defense of the Slaughtering Grounds.
Yeah.
Hell, even Robert Romain himself admitted that the Slaughtering Grounds were low quality. Here, have a listen.
I'm sorry. We have
What
5
of
video
his game
games, but
has
as you
good
stated, they're
quality?
low quality video games. I'm not saying any of our games are amazing.
So no, the game would still be shit. It would
Boss.
just be shit that used original art.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go to good territory.
Not even
I would
mediocre.
go with, all of our games at least can be run.
Yeah, well, they at least work.
Yeah, but amazing? Nah, mate. That's too high. Good even too high. meh, too high.
Yeah, but he just said it. He said they never said they made good games.
Yeah, why made games at all then?
Well, we know why. Money.
Yeah, we know why, but why?
Yeah, I'm just happy that certain collectors groups didn't jump on all the Digital Homicide games back then.
They tried.
As far as I remember.
They definitely tried because they pushed that Lotus games site when Digital Homicide could sell keys.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're still around on itch.io, I think.
Yeah, but not as Steam keys.
Yeah, that's true.
Mostly.
That's true. Well, there is
On
a.
itch.io they can exist, nobody will touch it.
I didn't check it, but Shade sent me a link to a Steam Gifts page where somebody is giving away Slaughtering Ground keys.
That madman, he should be stopped!
on Steam Gifts you can get. I think they I don't know who made it. I should check that out. Maybe it's one of the Romines themselves. 30 keys.
Yeah, just post the link in the chat. Whoever interested, just grab that thing.
Yeah, I don't have it. I have to see if I find it. Not sure if that's still in the chat here.
Oh, you mean in Steam chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That might be a way. Well, fix Steam chat. We know you're trying, but please fix it.
Wait.
I'm interested in some dialogues that I had like 2 or 3 years ago. Or even older. I do know that I lost at least one key to Steam chat.
Okay, here's the link. Let me actually check if that's still active. Where's everyone getting a key for this from? That's a good question.
Yeah.
4 days remaining. Disney, that's Dark Sasha. Okay. Doesn't seem to be Digital Homicides themselves. 402 people want to have that shit game.
Focus.
Are there actually more? Let me see.
We're already promoting Slaughtering Ground. Let's just forget about it and continue with this super interesting video.
Well, it's not really. I'm not really promoting it. Everybody who wants to, who hurt themselves, yeah, be my guest. If you want to suffer through the worst audio loop ever made, yeah, do it. But don't blame me for that. You have been warned, and it is really freaking annoying. And it's a freaking earworm. I still have it in my head, and I cannot get it out, so...
And don't forget, if you did not mute this game, that's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. And it will burn itself into your brain. Everything. Only brain bleach would work. Alright, 3742.
Yeah, okay.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Work rather than store-bought assets. Well, when you look at it that way, you start to realize that the use of store-bought assets is completely and utterly irrelevant to the discussion of whether a game and or its developers deserve to be shat on. Your criticism at that point becomes no different than your criticism of this game.
The
or
blood
this
splatters
game,
don't even
or this
fit.
game. A game that uses original artwork and is shit, and a game that uses store-bought assets and is shit.
Yeah, compare
will both
40-year-old
receive the same
game
amount
with
of
that.
criticism and panic.
Yep. Also,
Meanwhile, a
the
game that
Greeks
uses
and
original
Superman
artwork and is
64.
good, and a game that uses store-bought assets and is good, will likewise be given equal amounts of praise. The use of store-bought versus original
Depends
assets
on the
has
genre.
no
That's
bearing
what I
on
want to
whether
say.
you like or don't like a game, so why even bring it up at all? Actually, I think I know why guys like Sterling like to bring it up. See, there are people, a lot of people, who like to see their opinions as objective fact. They don't like to have to simply agree to disagree with people. If someone disagrees with them,
So
they will
what,
often try to justify their opinions
it's not an
as
objective
being
fact
objectively
that
correct, while their opponents' opinions
digital
are
homicide
objectively
games
wrong.
are
The
asset
test
flips.
for whether a game constitutes an asset flip
No, it's
or
not.
not is an
No, but they
entirely
coded
subjective one.
thousands of
And
lines
it is the
for
same test that
Dungeons
is
of
applied
Crackmore.
to
All the
every other
games.
game in
Yeah.
existence.
Like,
However, by
10
instead
or
of drawing
50
attention
lines
to the
for
developer's
each.
business model
Yeah.
behind the scenes
Maybe.
development strategies, you can take the focus off whether you just like the game personally and instead create the illusion that your criticism is grounded in objective fact. Because heaven forbid you own up to the subjectivity of your own criticism and invite people to agree to disagree with you. So no, Digital Homicide is not
Yo.
You know what I remembered? That guys that I'm really wanted to say name, but nah, I'm not going to do it. That guy basically agreeing with Sterling. Jim Sterling thinks that objective criticism, objective game review is important. Subjective game review is impossible. It's both him and Jim Stephanie thinks that it's impossible to have a subjective review when you're basically saying the facts and they remain the facts.
Hmm. Ah. Just see.
Basically, they both on the same page, and none of them even considering that you just can put stuff about the game, filter out your own opinion, like you don't like it, you like it, or whatnot. You can check, you can basically see how it's working on your machine. If you can, you can compare it with somebody's experience, and if it's basically same-ish, I would say that's subjective information. No.
Well, even though I didn't
Yeah, objective.
even though I didn't like the romance, it doesn't matter if I like them or not, or what my opinion about those two morons are. But the games are obviously shit, and it doesn't matter who made them. The games are shit, and everybody can see that. I mean, just look at.
You know, I bet that creator of that basically shooter asset that they took to make Slaughtering Ground also think that Slaughtering Ground is shit.
Yeah, I guess so. That would be actually interesting to find out what
Yeah.
assets they used. But just seeing the non-existent effort to cut out the blood splatters the right way is. I'm somebody. I'm a creative person, and I know how to use Photoshop. I know how to cut out stuff. I know how to use the magic pen or whatever the name is, and this, looking at this, oh my god, this is so painful. This.
And I worked with photos to make them suitable for website and marketplaces. So yeah, looking at this making my eye twitch.
Yeah, it's just painful. Oh. And then what I just realized, there's a minimap. Why would you put it here and not where all the other games put it? And it's not even centered. I mean,
Slaughtering grounds have a minimap.
Yeah, it's that thing here that shows you where the enemies are, basically. I think it shows the enemies. I have no idea. Those dots, you're basically in front of it, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's a mini map. But yeah,
I've seen that thing all the time. I didn't even consider it, recognized it as a minimap.
you're welcome. Yeah, like I said, I have let me see how much time I actually wasted with that garbage freaking game. Over the years I played this game for 4.2 hours. 4.2 hours of my life wasted with this shit for charity, for good causes.
It's a guide how to enjoy this game.
Open the game, start a match.
You can't.
Yeah, exactly. But let's read that guide how to enjoy this game. Open game, start a match. Click play because it's not a multiplayer game. Run around killing things for 5 minutes till you realize it's all pointless. Tap out and do other things while the timer runs out. Not sure what it is supposed to be for. Start second map. Repeat step 3. Randomly get message about something and souls. Don't do nothing for a bit more. See random badly designed demon guy. Shoot him less than 4 times. Walk back and forth after the piles of money that spawn when he dies because they don't despawn on pickup. I'm certain it's on purpose and not just badly coded. Rack up several $1,000s, buy other guys, join multiplayer. Oops, only one map and none else there aside from lame chatbox. Realize I didn't even know there was multiplayer in that game. Oh, I forgot. Realize windows aren't even coded into this thing. Stand in window for a couple minutes, shooting into the air. Jump back and forth through window, making all the zombies run around the wall repeatedly. This is probably the most fun part. Get bored. They have there, you have now killed some minutes and are disappointed that this crap gets on Steam. Yep. On spot. Instructions were not clear.
This was definitely written by Jim Sterling or Stephanie.
How to get good at the slaughtering grounds. Oh, you can cheat in it? Wait a second. You will have to edit the Windows registry. What? Digital Homicide cleverly called themselves default company.
I think Elon Musk might wanna sue them.
Oh my god. You can just change all that shit.
His boring company.
Trooper owned. Graphics quality, revolver, reload level. Holy shit. The money, the health. There's a revolver and a 9mm? Oh, okay. I didn't play it long enough to unlock everything, so. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. We learned something new today.
That's hilarious. From February this year. Is the horse still available for beating? I'd like to go. Oh my god. I cannot stop beating this dead horse. Go boil your head. Wait, what? Oh my god. That's freaking funny. Alright. Game of the Year award. Yeah, definitely. 100%. 100%. The best game ever. Yeah. Well, anyway. I'm at 39.59.
39.50. Oh.
Alright. In 3, 2, 1, go.
An asset flipper, both because they use store-bought assets as a starting position and build something original off them, something the self-proclaimed inventor of the term said was an acceptable practice, but also because the very term asset flip is a completely meaningless term.
Wait, pause. I have to read that stuff from here. Contrary to massive amounts of articles and videos on the topic, I never took a complete project and published it under Digital Homicides, like it was my game. Thousands of hours of development went into the games. Deadly Profits, for example, generates an entire 3D dungeon system using only a single cube as its foundation. Yeah, so? Every hallway section uses 4 cubes rotated, positioned, and textured at runtime, all through code written by me. The entire dungeon is... Well, you can take the code from the asset and just change a line. Does that mean you coded?
I have a hard time to believe that it's all his original code.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if we'll just open some sort of Unity guide and be like, procedurally generated level. Yep, there it is.
Well, you can just download it as an asset.
Also true.
Map and level generators and stuff. Yeah, that's... I didn't check the Unity store for a while, but it should be plenty. I mean,
it should be in the some sort of tutorial.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've seen game on the store where I had to laugh because I made those exact tutorials and I wouldn't even think about selling that shit because it's what it is, a freaking tutorial. There was a game out that actually, it looks exactly, well, almost exactly like the tutorial I did for a shooter game where you don't have real characters, but you just use like capsule models and, well, those are your characters that you can shoot. Yeah, we did that in, I don't know, in a few hours or so. But we actually changed code as well, so we wrote code for the projectile size, the speed of it, what happens when the projectile hits an enemy and stuff like that. So yeah, you can take a Unity tutorial and well, if you change it a little bit, you can basically sell that as your own. I mean, you coded it and you made most of it from a tutorial, but well, you still had to type some stuff. But is that your code that you coded?
Well,
okay,
it's your values for sure.
but if you can code, or if you coded for thousands of hours, then you're a freaking coder. Then you should know what you're doing there. I didn't code for thousands of hours and still coded stuff in my demo that I made. Maybe one day I actually show what I did, and it was just one weekend. But I'd say it's 2 levels. I have quest items that you have to collect, and it uses a free asset. I think it's also from Unity. It's called Unity Gen, which is an anime.
On green light.
Somebody actually used that model in their game. It's an anime girl, including different animations and stuff. and depending if you carry a sword, for example, and stuff. So yeah, when I saw that, I had to laugh so hard because I actually used exactly that freaking asset.
Oh yeah, I think I know what model you're talking about.
Yeah, it looks a bit like Alice from Wonderland in colorful.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Basically, the free character model for some tutorials, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you can use it for whatever you want. It's a third person character, and well, you can do what you want, and you have in that.
Oh yeah, now I remembered. I've seen her in some green light projects.
Yeah, short skirt, pigtail hair, and over knee socks and stuff like that. So, and you do have all the animations and everything in there, but you basically choose which of them you want to have. So that's not all active right away because some stuff just might not make any sense in your game. And then you can change every value, like how far she is jumping, how long her steps are, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, when I see that, I'm just like, okay, yes.
I'm here.
All right. The entire dungeon.
So go to 4020.
Yeah, in a moment. The entire dungeon is a randomized roguelike experience written by me. It's not. Of all the false allegations, this one really bothered me the most, as it discredited the thousands of hours of learning and work put into creating games. Well, let's just take 1,000 hours and
divide them by 24.
Yeah, that would be 41 days without doing anything else, not eating, doing anything. So let's take a more realistic number. Let's say you're completely into the game and you code 12 hours a day. That still makes
12
it.
hours still a bit. Let's just go to 10.
Well, 10 is easy. It's 100 days.
Yourself, so I don't think that you're going to overcrunch yourself more than 10.
If you code 100 days and you don't do anything else, even if you have no idea about coding, when you start to code and do nothing else than code for 100 days, you can code at the end of those 100 days. If you cannot code at the end of the 100 days, you're an idiot. Seriously, it's C# is not a difficult language to learn when you have assets and stuff and code that you can, well, kinda take as example. And the cool thing about Unity, you have that to an extent in Unreal Engine as well. When there is an error in your code, like a semicolon where it doesn't belong, or a typo or something, those engines actually tell you exactly in what line that error is. So you're not publishing something with it. I mean, you can publish it with an error in there, but if you let it run once and compile it, or before you compile it, it will show you exactly in what line you have an error, and then you can go into that line and then, okay, I forgot a letter, or there's a dot where a semicolon should be, or something like that.
Forgot to close something, wrong symbol used, typo or something like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't call myself a coder, but I learned.
Typo and we remembering alien colonial marines.
Well, I learned Unity. We had a course for a month, and on the weekends, our teacher actually gave those who were interested, basically three or four people of the whole course, private sessions in Unity. So that's where we made our own levels, our own games, basically. And I even integrated a house that I made in 3D Studio for the other course that I also did.
Nice.
So I have my own building, my own building asset in there in my demo. So, and I integrated a bunch of different assets. I mean, yeah, you can get some asset packs for effects, for example, but you can change every single asset that you buy or get for free. You can change them all. That's the idea behind the asset. The asset is like a clump of clay, and what you do with it is kinda your thing. So you can form it, yeah, well, for your liking and for your needs. I want to finally, I need to kick my boys a little bit for that. I want to do something with Unreal Engine 5. I have some courses for that I want to go through, and there are so many free assets that you can get for the Unreal Engine. It's insane. Everything from FPS shooter pack, where you just basically change out the weapons, but you do have the gun sounds and the recoil and whatnot, and a lot of assets that you won't directly see because they do stuff in the background. You will see, and that's what was a bit weird with the new Sonic game that came out. The first few trailers that you could see, you could directly recognize Unreal Marketplace assets. Free assets, not paid. Free assets in that
That's
Sonic game.
Sega.
Yeah, and that's Sega. And I've seen a bit more than just the beginning area now because somebody streamed it for a charity event, so I could see that a little bit. That was also the only game that had a few hundred viewers because it just came out basically. The rest of the event was shit. 40 to 70 viewers. It's but different story. So the Sonic game is basically some, well, I don't even know how to describe it. It doesn't make any sense. At least the first hour or two or so, you have some landscapes and you have some rails in the air. Doesn't make any sense from any game logic point at all.
Makes sense in Sonic. They did in-air rails in 2006 in Sonic Boom.
Yeah, they do kind of make sense with Sonic normally, but if you just have like a grass and rocky landscape, which doesn't look too realistic, and then you have some kind of a building there that doesn't make any sense, and then you have a rail in the air over there, another rail is somewhere floating elsewhere. It just, I don't know, it just looks
Just
like...
remember Green Hill Zone. Those loop-de-loops.
Yeah, in 2D it's also something different. The other games, well, good or bad, yeah, I don't know, but they make more sense because there's more in the level, you know. It looks...
Okay, let's just say I haven't seen New Sonic, and right now, when I have no idea how it looks like, it's more like, oh well, it's Sonic, and it never was something like that.
Let me put it like this.
Mhm.
You, as somebody who doesn't know a lot about game development or never made a game, if you take the Unreal 5 engine, which is free, get a bunch of assets, models and stuff, and a character model for Sonic, you can make the first part of the game in a week.
Oh, that bad.
That bad. It gets better later, where you have real buildings and skyscrapers and towns and stuff like that, what I saw. But it's still...
Why they have so big start then?
Yeah, it's just not... I don't know. It's too expensive, and... we get back to the video in a moment. Let me open that here real quick. And it's expensive, it costs $60 or so. Yeah, $60 Sonic Frontiers.
At least not 70 like
True.
some games right now.
True. But yeah, this is the trailer, and that's okay. Stuff like this does look good, and it makes sense. Then the rails make sense. Totally get it. I do like that look. But let me see.
Yeah, that basically what you described to me right now. I pictured something similar. Well,
here in
not
that case,
exactly like that.
in that case, it does work. It looks like the old school game with the checker pick style and everything. That's pretty nice. Does it show that intro shit? The cutscenes look good, but yeah, well, they're cutscenes. It doesn't show the starting areas really too much. If the whole game and the start would look like what you saw, yeah, then it might be okay, but I don't see.
Oh! I just remembered something.
What?
CDPR might have screwed Witcher 3 Remaster.
Yeah.
HD patch. There was a moment in the trailer that showed Nilfgaard's armor.
Oh
and
yeah.
Nilfgaards right now have armor like in Netflix show.
You mean the armor that's called the testicle armor? Yeah, but it's optional.
No.
Yes. I already read that it's optional.
Optional?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's Netflix is optional content. Thankfully, because I saw pictures and I was like, who the fuck designed that shit?
Yeah, basically everybody who saw that screenshot was like that.
Yeah.
I showed it to several people and they were like...
I saw that in the forum. Somebody was like, will the testicle armor be in there as well? And I was like, huh? Testicle armor? Do you get armor for your freaking balls? And then I saw a screenshot and I was like, huh? I mean, I could understand it if it would be darker and made out of obsidian or something like that, or lava stone or something, so it's kind of melted. But in the color they chose, it just looks like...
It's just metal whatever.
Yeah, it just looks like...
Somebody took metal, started melting it, and go for a coffee break.
Yeah.
Then go back, was like, oh shit. Smoke break. Oh shit. Tea break.
Oh, by the way, don't upload, don't use that armor yet, I'm not done. You did what? You integrated it? Oh, for fuck's sake. Wait, is it this? From what I know, it will be an option just like the alternate outfit DLCs that exist. Huh? Steve? Hello? I cannot... Oh, I can. Okay. Testicle armor. Okay, let's see. I think there was... Yeah, here's a screenshot of that armor so people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the same screenshot.
It looks like it's made out of leather.
Which doesn't make sense at all.
No, more like more like you have a I don't know, some kind of metal armor and then there's leather over that. That's why you have those bolts, for example, here. Then
that makes no sense.
But the color is just shit. It should be either brown, then it would be the shit armor. But I don't know what that has to do with testicles. It looks like yeah, well, like leather or something like that has wrinkles and stuff. But Yeah, it looks like shit. It doesn't look.
Let's just say it was more explicit in The Witcher, if I remember correctly.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't see the show yet, so.
I'm not going to see it. Henry's gone. Witcher is doomed.
Well, I bought it finally on Steam. So I will play it, but yeah, after they released that patch on December 14th.
Yeah, and the sad story is Russian studio made most of the work with that. I don't know, next gen update. It's definitely not remaster or something. Russian studio made most of the work. Then happened what happened, and CDPR took all of the assets.
Nah, okay. Well, if
They will not credit a Russian studio, then CDPR is just one big knob.
oh well, they are. I mean, we know that by now. That's the reason why I didn't. Well, I wouldn't have bought The Witcher again. But I have it in GOG. But for that price, $10 for the GOTY and with graphical and quality of life update incoming. Yeah, I guess should be okay. So next
Yeah, maybe.
next year, January or maybe February. I have a surgery in February, so I cannot work in the bike store for at least a week or so. So maybe I start it then. But I might actually, hopefully, fingers crossed, I applied for a new job. Also through the company where I work for Lost Ark and Xbox. They are looking for a community manager for English and German and English and French for several studios. So I have no idea if I'm becoming community manager for Microsoft or for Xbox or something like that. But it's a full-time paid job, so that would be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I live in Discord anyway, so okay.
We had our 15 minutes break.
Yeah. Can I? Yeah, I'm at 40:21.
Yep.
All right. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
It simply exists to confuse the issues and divert attention away from what should be the focus of the criticism in a shameless attempt to create the illusion that your criticism is grounded in objective fact. In his video, when Jim Sterling was sued for $10 million by Digital Homicide, Sterling claims that Digital Homicide wanted him to never mention them again, and to instead, and I quote, just let them go about peddling their shite. Meanwhile, on their blog post, Digital Homicide says that all they wanted was for Sterling to cover them the way he would cover any other developer, instead of constantly singling them out and covering them to the exclusion of everyone else. Who is right in this regard? Well, let's look at the objective
Jim
facts.
Sterling shitted on a lot of developers.
In his video,
yeah.
Steam needs to stop selling toys full of
I mean,
cum.
Digital Homicide, they just released so much that it was hard to not cover their crap.
2015 and 2016.
And basically, he was most active when Digital Homicide
This surge of game
most
uploads
active as
often
well.
receives
Yeah.
quite a lot of valid criticism.
But he covered a lot
that
of
it makes
shitty developers, so.
legitimately good games
Yeah.
harder to notice
And
because they tend to get
specifically
lost in the
had a
shuffle.
lot of
However,
squirty plays
by
that
that
was...
same logic,
Yeah, but the
shouldn't
thing
it
the thing
also
is,
make
Didn't
shitty
mention
games harder
Digital
to find
Homicide.
because
Digital
they,
Homicide was the
like
first
players,
who
get lost in the shuffle as
released
well?
so many games.
Whenever Digital Homicide
per
made any
week.
short game,
Instance.
Jim Sterling
Yeah.
was almost certainly guaranteed to cover
So it was hard not to cover them.
That Sterling
Yep.
would do a
Others
squirty
released one
plays
game, yeah, then
video
you
about
showed
the
one game,
newest
but
Digital Homicide game.
they came back and came
Of
back.
those 7,000 games that were uploaded to Steam, Digital Homicide made 9 of them. less than 0.3%
Yeah, 9 at the beginning.
of Steam
Not
games
that
in
of beginning,
2015
that was
and
before the flood
2016
started from them.
were digital homicide games. If you pick
the end,
a
they had,
Steam
like,
game
60 or
released
so.
in 2015 or 2016 at complete random, you had less than a 0.13% chance
Digital
of it being a
Homicide
digital
was
homicide
already
game. And yet,
something that Jim Sterling
ended
had
up
a history
covering
with.
all of them.
Plus,
Out of the literal
Jim
thousands of
Sterling
games
several
he could have
times
covered and
covered
gotten
the
just
game
as much
that
mileage out
wasn't
of. Whenever
released by
Digital Homicide
Digital
released a
Homicide,
game,
but
game
by some
always went to
random
the front of the
company.
line.
And in the
And
end,
you have
that
the
game
gall
was
to tell me
actually
that
released
Sterling
by
wasn't
Digital
singling
Homicide.
Digital Homicide out? Give me a
That
fucking
happened
break.
at least 2 times.
If he really did just stumble upon Digital Homicide games by sheer coincidence, the odds of him doing so 9 times in a row is astronomical. With those kinds of odds, Sterling shouldn't be on YouTube. He should be in fucking Vegas earning a damn
I should have
fortune.
become a YouTuber with
But
Digital Homicide
for
back
the
then as
sake of
well.
argument, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's
Yeah,
assume that Sterling just happened to select
His success is
some
based
indie games
on
at
Digital Homicide
random to
videos,
review,
kinda.
and lo and behold,
Yeah,
despite
that's why
trillion to
he
one
definitely
odds,
made
Digital Homicide just
videos
happened
about
to
them
be the
when
most
he
common developer
can.
to
Yeah.
release those games.
Specifically to show
In
that
that case,
they
how did
A,
he have
either didn't
screenshots
change,
of
or
the
B,
forum
they
posts Digital
had
Homicide had made
grown up a
only
bit.
a few hours after those posts were made? Yeah, why has nobody noticed that yet? Here's a screenshot
Because
that Jim
there
Sterling
was a
took
lot
of
of
Digital
users
Homicide
who
defending banning
watched
people.
through Greenlight,
Notice
and
here,
those
where it
a
says
lot
that
of
the post
users
was made
used to
7
be on
hours ago as
Jim
of the
Sterling
time
group.
that screenshot was taken. So I ask you, how the fuck did Sterling get that screenshot so quickly? I'll tell you why. Because Sterling was
Jo.
7 hour screenshot for him is an old screenshot? A new screenshot?
Yeah, I was.
do remember a screenshot that existed less than 1 minute.
How could he get that so far? Yeah, I mean, hey, you post in
It's
certain.
freaking 7 hours. Nobody deleted it. Therefore, it's going to be there forever.
Yeah, and the fact that you can subscribe to a forum. I mean, you see when your posts come in, and if you want to cover something, well, you check shit. So, and then you
Yeah.
just take what you have. I mean,
And again, somebody could make a post, then he received answer from Digital Homicide. It was like, screenshot, Jim Sterling, here you go.
yeah, I mean, he used screenshots from us as well.
I'm not actually sure that was specifically ours, but yeah, that definitely was like ours.
Yeah, no, not this one. I mean, Jim himself used.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he used screenshots that were posted either in our forum or from the group or from Greenlight. This game, by the way, don't remember the name of the game, but
So, yeah, I'm not going to try to remember.
yeah, me neither. But the thing is, you can just crouch and an enemy will not be able to shoot you. They just shoot horizontally. That's it.
Mhm.
You can crouch through the whole fucking game and not get shot. Well, game. I'm generous when I say game, because you can
You're
already.
not generous. You basically underappreciating, because thousands of hours of
Oh, yeah,
coding
yeah,
went into this game.
I'm sorry, Romines. Please don't sue me. Oh wait, no, do sue me. I was so happy when they started suing our group, and then nothing went through. That was so shit.
More on that later. Spoilers.
Yeah, no. Everybody who knows Digital Homicides, the group knows that we have been Well, they tried to sue us.
Yeah.
All right, I'm at 44.
Yeah, okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Isn't just covering digital homicide. The only way Sterling could possibly have gotten that screenshot so quickly after
Like
the post
he
was
got
made
that screenshot himself.
if he was actively monitoring digital homicide's activities on Steam, like a goddamn vulture, looking for any excuse he could find to swoop in and give them yet another verbal thrashing. Sterling was giving priority to digital homicide while simultaneously allowing far more treacherous shitheads to go unabated on Steam. I'm sorry, but I simply do not buy for a minute that what digital homicide actually wanted was for Sterling to just be quiet and let them go about peddling their shite. Because Jim Sterling was
Jim
quite
actually several
clearly
times
doing far
talked about
worse than that.
lawsuit and
What
water
Sterling was
mines
doing
wanted
was
from
nothing
him.
short of stalking. And now it's time for the main event. The lawsuits against Jim Sterling and the 100 anonymous Steam users.
It was 200, you asshole.
Jim Sterling believes the lawsuit filed against him was frivolous, or spurious as he calls it. While I certainly do not doubt the sincerity of that opinion, I believe it is important that we get one thing straight at the outset of this discussion. The sole reason, and I mean literally the only reason, period, not just the only noteworthy reason or the only significant reason, why Jim Sterling considers the lawsuit to be frivolous can be seen on screen right now. Do you not see it? Okay, let me draw some arrows to help you understand. There, do you see it now? The mere fact that Jim Sterling is listed as the defendant in that case, alone, to the exclusion of all other factors, means that he considers that lawsuit to be frivolous. Let me put it this way. The two
explained
most
several
serious
times why
allegations
he
James
think
Ramone
it's
had
frivolous.
supposedly made against Sterling are that Sterling had intentionally defamed the Ramone brothers and tarnished their reputation
I
accordingly.
don't remember how,
and that
but I do
Sterling
remember
had
that he did.
intentionally conspired with Valve and the other ECC games in Europe to ruin the Ramone brothers' career as game developers. Of course, when Sterling publicly denied
So what?
Yeah, he is definitely the reason why they didn't become good game developers.
Yeah. Some small European company that didn't even know that digital homicide exists, and Jim Sterling basically manipulating Valve to focus specifically on those two people. The reason why it's I'm not too sure what to say about it. All I can say is, yeah, sure, why not? You go, man.
About what was mentioned earlier, the thousands of hours. Something that takes to pronounce it as the YouTuber literally seconds or minutes, and it's something I don't have OCD, but from a creative point of view, that there's not much that triggers me more than if something isn't symmetrical or centered or aligned the right way when it should be. If you look at the text here, not one single freaking text field is aligned like the other. Here,
Congratulations! I didn't notice that before. Now I have to live with that.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, I'm not done yet. The thing is, you align stuff with a line left, a line right, stuff like that. Then you can add pixels in between, whatever. In this case, you would just do one text field and copy that code, place it below or whatever in the coding, and change to window 2, for example, or text field 2. But you still have the same alignment. It's a copy-paste thing. So this one is aligned right in the frame. This one has like 3 spaces too much. This has like 2 spaces in the front. This here, well, like 5 or 6. This might be center aligned. This could actually be center aligned. But
Wait a second. Why percentage before the number?
that's one thing. Well, it is health percentage 88. So it doesn't make sense, but
It does, but it doesn't.
what annoys me more is the fact that you could use /font or \font or something like that, color, and then you tell the game through the code what color you want to use for that freaking text. And green on red. Oh my god, seriously, this is like this is like nails on a chalkboard for my eyes. You use white or black in there, not fucking green. But hey, we just have the same, and it's not even the same green like in here. So,
I think it's the same. It's just because of the red. It's a bit out of tune.
could be. Looks a bit brighter. But yeah, that's just shit. Then you have ammo 99 here for the shotgun.
For the pistol. Because pistol is active, you can see ammo for a pistol. Because shotgun ain't active, you can't see ammo for the shotgun.
Ah. Well, still, it doesn't make any fucking sense to place it in here.
Yeah, it doesn't.
For those wondering, this here is a mine, and this here is tripwire, which is also basically explosive.
Yes, technically those two things are different, but they are different outside the games.
Yeah.
Or in games like Metal Gear Solid.
Oh. And the red numbers here are the numbers on the keyboard that you have to press.
You
Ah.
basically can't see number 2 on top of shotgun.
Yeah, but that might be because of the quality of the video. It's like artifact.
Nope. Even in HD, it's like that.
Yeah, but in the game it's okay.
Maybe. Oh, you mean compression artifact? Yeah.
Yeah. It's also weird what they used as background here for the weapons. This one is the same like this here. This here is basically this here turned by a few degrees. Oh my god. Fucking hell. I mean, this shit, this looks so 90s with the metal effect. It doesn't make any sense because, well, they took one piece and then just copied it, but the lighting is completely off now. Is there like 4 lights? Oh, okay. Never mind. 47:26. And we're getting closer to the reveal. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Denies both of these things, or at the very least, in the case of the first, count of defamation, denies doing them willfully and maliciously. However, let me make this perfectly clear. Even if both of those accusations against Sterling were completely true, and even if Jim Sterling knew full well that those accusations were completely true, he would still have, with 100% sincerity and honesty, considered the lawsuit against him to be completely frivolous, simply because of this right
No.
here. That being said, do I have any proof that the lawsuit was frivolous from an impartial standpoint? Well, at this point I am mostly reduced to speculation. I cannot find a free copy of the original lawsuit filed against Sterling in March of 2016, and the official records are gated behind a paywall. However, let's consider the fact that when they settled out of court, Jim Sterling admitted that James Romine was judgment-proof, aka that he didn't have any money to pay Sterling's legal fees even if a judge had ordered Romine to do so.
And we'd both suck up our legal fees, which I was going to have to do anyway, because let's face it, what does James have? He's a punchline with basic coding ability.
Now, bear in mind that this isn't just me speculating about Romine's financial situation. Jim Sterling admits to this himself. Now, because this fact, Romine's poverty, is established by the defendant's own admission, that means I do not have to prove it. It is already undisputed. So if anyone asks me to prove that Romine is impoverished, my proof is that Sterling admits to it. Keep this in mind because it will also come into play when I discuss the lawsuits filed against the Steam users. Now, if James Romine was so broke that he couldn't afford a lawyer or pay Sterling's legal fees even if he were ordered to, then I would imagine he filed this lawsuit against Sterling in forma pauperis. What does that mean? Well, that basically means that you plead poverty to the court, and the court allows you to file your lawsuit without paying a filing fee. Cool. Justice shouldn't be something that you have to be able to afford. But what does this have to do with the lawsuit being frivolous? Well, whenever a plaintiff files a lawsuit in forma pauperis, the judge in that case is supposed to review the lawsuit before it gets served on the defendant and throw the case out if he determines that it's frivolous. So, you ask me what impartial evidence I have that the lawsuit was not frivolous? Well, the mere fact that Digital Homicides lawsuit actually got as far as being served on Jim Sterling in the first place
Basically,
necessarily
none
means
of the
that
proofs.
a judge looked at that case and decided, yup, this lawsuit has some potential merit to it. Let's give this guy a day in court. Now, to be fair, that does not mean that Romine was going to win the lawsuit. It's one thing to accuse someone of violating your rights. It's quite another to actually prove those accusations in a court of law. It's called the burden of proof for a reason, because sometimes it is indeed quite the uphill battle.
Pause for a moment.
So that
Well, the thing is, they had to prove that Jim Sterling was responsible for their downfall, basically. And
Yep, for downfall, for emotional damage, for potential, for economical losses, for damaged reputation. I do
yeah,
remember a couple of points from that lawsuit.
but that means that a crap ton of people would have needed to know all of Jim's videos, for example, and if you were not really into that kind of thing, or if you were not too related to that stuff like we were as a group, it might...
Well, I wasn't interested in his content from the start. I just got into it with the time. The more I stick around with the group.
Yeah, same
when
for
I
me.
was a mod, when I became mod, I was already into Jim Sterling content.
Yeah, but he was not really, for me personally, the reason to I mean, he was not the one discrediting the Romines, because they did a good job doing that by themselves, like
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
releasing 5 games which were basically the same, just with one changed color or some bullshit. And about the lawsuit and their lawyer, they started a GoFundMe to get funds from their fans and those that supported them. It kind of backfired because you could set a minimum, I think, but if you let people decide what they want to give you, and they give you a low amount, you still have to pay the fees to get that amount. So they basically had to pay more fees than they received as donations from people. So
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
if somebody just donated 20 cents and they had to pay 25 cents to get the 20 cent, they still lost 5 and got nothing. And I think it was at 400 or so, the page, then they ended it. And to get the 400, I think they had to pay like 500 or so. so they didn't have money and had to pay more to not get anything.
Yep.
Yay!
Jim Sterling said people to do that. I don't remember, to be honest. But
Nah,
I doubt that he would do that.
nah, not really.
Specifically because he was sued at the time.
People came up with that on their own. I don't remember who told it in the group, but somebody mentioned it in the group, and then it was almost over already. So I didn't give them money to screw them over with the fees or anything, but it was kinda cool to see, and I was kinda happy that it didn't work out at all for them. Am I not centered? Wait a second. Centered? Yeah, I should. Oh my god, seriously. At that dude. Yeah, I don't know, but I talk about it. Oh boy. Okay, 51-15.
Uh-huh.
3, 2, 1, go.
Begs the question, what evidence, if any, did Romine have of the accusations he made against Sterling? Well, we do not,
None?
and probably never will, know for certain what evidence he has, due to the simple fact that this case was settled out of court and therefore will never see a trial. However,
Around the time of the lawsuit,
there is
the
one
Romines
thing
were
that
actually
Jim
stalking
Sterling mentioned
Sterling.
in his video
Yep.
when Jim Sterling was sued for $10 million
Tried
by
to
Digital
buy
Homicide. That makes me raise a single
merch from
eyebrow.
his store
When
to
he's
prove
vocally
that
challenged on
they
this, a lot of
can,
these allegations so confidently written devolve into, I think Jim did this. Well, Jim might have done
Not
this.
this
He
game.
might have spoken to Valve. He might have colluded with ECC Games. Maybes, mights, I thinks. What do you think I would do with that sort of argument?
Wait a minute. You questioned him about this? When exactly did you do that? When you say you questioned him,
The mind
I
didn't
assume
even
you're
work.
talking about depositions.
They
That's
just
a type
walked
of
over it.
discovery in the
That
federal
was a
courts and
rhetorical
most state courts as
question.
well. See,
You
when you're
brain dead
conducting
moron.
discovery
Yeah.
in federal courts, there
That
are
was a
two
question
types of
for an
discovery
audience.
that involve directly questioning witnesses and parties: depositions and
Pause.
interrogatory.
You
Yep.
can see that has exactly the same color as cash, ammo, and total kills.
Yeah, that's true.
And let's continue.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
With interrogatories, you write the questions down and either mail or email them to the opposing party. They then write down their answers and send them back to you through the same process. Depositions, meanwhile, involve the witness or party being summoned to an in-person interrogation. There's a court reporter present to create a transcript of every word that was said verbatim. Depositions sound like the most likely method by which James Romine was supposedly questioned about the allegations, because that is the type of discovery that involves Romine being put on the spot and having to answer the
That's the
questions in
question
person.
in the video.
Whereas
It
interrogatories
was
would
asked
enable
for
him to
the
take his
audience.
time, think about what he was going to say, and revise his answers many
You,
times
a
over
content
before
creator,
the
you
opposing
should
party
know the
actually sees
difference.
the answers.
You
And
are
since Romine
actually
was
doing the same
supposedly
thing.
stumbling
You
over his
telling
answers
the
and
audience
gave them with much less
what you
confidence
think
than in
about
his
it.
written complaint,
Okay, you
I
ain't
assume that
asking
he was put
for
on
the
spot
opinion,
when he
even
was
retorting.
Okay, pause.
Uh-huh.
You talk so much over him talking that I can sometimes barely understand either of you.
Well, basically, he is the content creator as well. He's talking with the own audience. Yes, he not asking rhetorical questions like Jim that just did, but how he can't understand that it's basically the same process. You talking with somebody who can't respond to you. The only means of communication with you is through the comments. You can throw a rhetorical question and get an answer to it, and you'll get it in the comments. But the rhetorical question is a rhetorical question. It something that should not be answered.
Yeah, if you get the concept of rhetorical questions. Oh, by the way, do you want me to trigger you a little bit more when it comes to graphics? The more I see that,
go with it.
the more I see that fucking HUD, the more I see. So first, what you see in the menu is basically part of the lower graphics, but scaled up. So
Oh, yeah, you mean overlapping text, overlapping gun model? Yeah, I saw that.
oh yeah, that's the next thing I was looking like. I was like, what's going on with the gun here? But no, it's basically first they scaled it up, and then because they have no idea how to work with graphics, they scaled it vertically. That's the reason why those bolts.
Oh, you mean it's stretched?
Yeah, they stretched it, so the bolts are not
Yeah,
round anymore. And when you look at the menu, the mini map on the side, I don't know what they fucking did there, but they stretched it in every direction. It's like it drives me nuts when I see shit like that. So they basically had this frame here. That's all, and that's what they used to build this here, because well, they overlapped it. And then they copy pasted that shit over here, and here they were like, okay, we need to turn it. So they turned it to the side and then stretched it to the right as well. Oh my god, seriously. Same for the text. What the fuck is going on with the text? They even the text they stretched and scaled manually. And that's just, I mean, if you want to...
Why GUI have two lower cases?
What do you mean?
Graphic user interface. Why it have two small letters and one capital?
Yeah, and who uses that anyway?
I don't know. Why they didn't use three capital letters?
Yeah. First that. Second, normally it's only UI that's used, or in case of a game, hard
Yep.
head-up display. Even though it doesn't make too much sense, but yeah, it's a HUD. So yeah. And the radar is like 10 or 20% lower than it should be. And if you want to scale something, oh yeah, and let's not forget that this is all not centered. So those are okay.
Don't even remind me about this snake going in between ons.
Yeah, the thing is, normally if you work with text, you put the center of the text field in the middle, so it's centered. Then you use Control R, which activates the rulers in Photoshop, for example, or in Illustrator. Then you drag it over here in the middle of this frame. Normally you have a dot here and a dot in the middle where you can see where the center is. That's where you place the ruler. And you can clearly see that music is too far to the left, and it's all single, and you would use the whole text in the same text field. not in 5 different ones. That way you just resize the whole text field until it fits in here and is centered and not like a line too high. And oh my god, seriously.
We have more things to say about Digital Homicide games than about this video.
Oh, yeah, but we get to that. 53,
Yeah.
53. Funny numbers that I pause it. You got it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
These questions, which means he was given a deposition. However, there is a gaping plot hole in Sterling's story. If the case was settled immediately after the case management conference, like Sterling claims, then there would not have been any discovery at all. No depositions, no interrogatories, no medical examinations, nada. What's really baffling about this plot hole is that Jim Sterling himself even calls attention to this little nuance of federal civil procedure in the video where he talks about the lawsuit. Here, have a listen.
At one point, Romain called our side asking if he could email interrogatories or would have to physically send them. Basically, Romain wanted to start asking me formal questions already. We had to explain to James that you do not send interrogatories at all at this stage. That's meant to happen after a case management conference, and we were nowhere
Did I miss
near
this
that level
game?
yet. To be fair, I didn't know a lot about these processes either.
Yo. I don't remember
No.
this game actually.
I do remember.
Yeah.
That the game which trailer we saw at the start of the stream. So basically, he said that all of those procedures ain't possible if case settled outside the court. And Jim basically said that he said to Digital Homicide that they that Jim can't be interrogated because case didn't even gone into motion yet. So he basically put Jim to tell that YouTuber guy have no idea what he talking about.
Yeah. He doesn't. Not about everything, at least.
Yeah, and it's 55 minutes when he's wrong.
Yeah, yeah, and he gets even more wrong, but we get to that. 55:02
55. Uh-huh.
in 3, 2, 1, go.
But that's why I had a lawyer?
So yeah, by Jim Sterling's own admission, the case should never have gotten to the point where Romain should have been questioned about these charges. So I would very much like to know, when exactly did you question Romain about the allegations?
Never!
I can personally only think of one explanation. Sterling's claims about how Romain's testimony fell to pieces? That never happened. It was something that Sterling just completely pulled out of his ass just to make himself appear in the right. And since he didn't understand how federal civil procedure works, he probably didn't realize just how little sense it all made. So, with all that being said, I'd like you all to ask yourself this.
Why are we watching this?
What motive could Jim Sterling possibly have to make shit up about the weakness of Romain's testimony? Sounds to
You don't
me
have to make
like
shit
he
up.
knows he's guilty
Uh-huh.
and is trying to cover his ass. Before we move on to the lawsuits against the anonymous Steam users, I have one last thing to say about the lawsuit against Jim
Go
Sterling.
on.
In their 2020 blog post, Digital Homicide explains that when they attended the case management conference and ultimately settled, James Remine was intimidated, not persuaded, into settling out of court because of all the things Sterling's lawyer threatened to do if the case was not settled. Chief among those threats were the threat to snoop around in James Remine's financial records and to snoop around in James Remine's medical records. Now, in his video, Digital Homicide resurfaces with some incredible BS. Jim Sterling defends these threats as reasonable discovery given the nature of the suit and the damages claimed.
He would have had to since you...
Yo.
Mine claimed mental health issues,
Mm-hmm.
and that they spent a lot of money to prepare to this court and dealt with mental damage.
Mm-hmm.
So, why lawyer looking into account details related to, I don't know, therapists or something like that, and the medical records, something that not related to the case?
Yeah.
And I think we can just go in without even trying to answer this question.
Well, I didn't fully read the lawsuit, but yeah, there are some lawsuits that kinda tell you from what's in there if the person is how do I phrase that? Normal? Or no, let's phrase it differently. You can see if somebody is mental or not. And they wanted what, 10 or 20 million from him?
I think at first it was 10 and then it was 20.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we get to the fun part.
Almost.
Yeah. 57-21.
Uh-huh.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Joel talked about money so much, he had to. You claimed severe emotional distress.
However, as I pointed out at the beginning of this video, I have been around this particular block once or twice before, and I am familiar with quite a few of the dirty tactics that unscrupulous lawyers tend to like to use whenever they think they can get away with it.
Like when you
Speaking
tried
from
to
personal
sue...
experience, the threats described raise some serious red flags for me. Would the defendants in this case have the right to inquire into James Remine's medical records? Sure, to an extent, seeing as how James Remine was claiming millions of dollars worth of psychological damage. It would indeed be Sterling's right to look at Remine's medical records to see if Remine really had suffered that kind of emotional trauma. However, I wonder if Sterling's lawyer might have exploited James Remine's lack of experience and understanding of the legal system in order to significantly overblow the scope of this intrusion into Remine's medical privacy. Bear in mind that Sterling did not attend this case management conference, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Digital Homicide has not responded to my request for interview.
Sterling was in another
So we do
state.
not know exactly verbatim of what was said, and as I've explained earlier in this video, sometimes the exact words spoken can make all the difference in the world. However, in my experience, it is not uncommon for lawyers to threaten inexperienced, especially pro se, litigants with threats to dig into their entire medical history.
Okay,
Every
pause for a
urine
moment.
sample-
In his experience, so for those people who, well, we will not mention that YouTuber because, well, he doesn't need more attention. He's somebody who PMCA strikes YouTubers or videos when they use his logo or parts of his video. So
Well, basically, no reactions to him on YouTube.
I want to continue to upload the podcast videos to YouTube, and I will definitely upload this here and part 1 as well. And I might on YouTube actually maybe tell him about it. I'm kind of curious. Because, well, reaction videos are okay. They cannot be taken down by DMCA strikes normally. It's not copyright.
And we basically... Yes, we have quiet moments, but we do react to this
Yeah, and the thing is...
audiovisual thing.
he uses content that is made by Jim Sterling. The whole gameplay that you see in the background is all Jim Sterling playing those games.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So you can even see here, it's maybe a bit hard to see, but it says Jim Sterling has faded into the vortex. So they played against each other. And I'm not sure actually. When I played this game, I'm not sure. I think one of the brothers was in there as well, but I might be wrong about that. It's been a
Might
few
be the
years.
same.
It's been a few years, and that game that game stopped working because, well, server, and they had another multiplayer game that we actually played in co-op with 3 or 4 people. Well, played. we kind of stumbled through a game at 15 FPS or so.
Yeah, continue talking. I'm at something.
That was their second multiplayer game, basically. Funny enough, they somehow managed to make those actually work online, which is kind of a surprise, but I guess the asset was coded well enough to make that possible. So yeah. I'm kinda intrigued to remake the Slaughtering Grounds in Unreal 5 engine. And I will make the loop, the audio loop, on my own. It's so easy. I can just, in quotes, sing it. So yeah, I'm kinda thinking about just doing that to show how easy that actually is. But make it myself, not with a freaking finished asset pack. Take a weekend or so. I need to learn the Unreal Engine anyway. Why not do it with a shit game like Slaughtering Grounds? Including the blood splatters, the original blood splatters from Google image search. Oh yeah, and
you're gonna go full DigiHom level of quality.
oh no! It will be Unreal 5 engine.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm sorry.
Hey! I mean,
Good looking DigiHom level of quality.
good looking shit. Yeah. At least good looking shit with ray tracing. Because you can just activate it for Unreal Engine 5. It's built in, so it's just a check mark. Yeah, ray tracing. Wouldn't that be really?
That would be great looking shit.
Wouldn't that be actually freaking funny to make a let's call it the Glottering Strauns or something like that. And actually I'm kind of motivated to do that. I have a shit ton of assets from the marketplace. Also paid ones, but every now and then they release assets for free. So you have like 3 or 4 weeks where you can get them for free. So I have a few $100 worth of assets that I didn't pay for because they gave it away. That's what I like about Epic. They don't just give you games. No, I have freaking high quality 3D models, landscapes, mega textures, all kind of shit. So yeah, I'm not sure if I can find those bad models. I have to search. They should be out there somewhere. I definitely need those. Well, one character that they used in Slaughtering Grounds reminds me a little bit of Unity Chan. They have a girl in there as well that doesn't fit the models at all, and it looks similar. So I'm thinking about where I would actually do that. Should I do that in Unity or in Unreal, or in what's
Do it in Unreal.
what's the other engine? Was it Game Dev Kit or something? What was the other one that they also used for Accumulator? You know that one.
Oh, yeah.
That one engine.
Not them.
The one engine where you have a volume slider that's not working and it's always too loud, and you have the same.
Yeah, I get it. I don't remember the name of the engine, but I know what you're talking.
Oh, Game Maker.
What you mean?
I think it's.
Oh yeah.
I think it's Game Maker. But yeah, all right.
We're almost there.
Yeah, almost. I think we actually we can finish that video today. Okay, we are at
Hallelujah.
59:14.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1, go.
Every finger up the butt that they have ever been subjected to in their entire lives is fair game for lawyers to look at and then put in the court record, at which point it becomes public record for all the world to see. His entire lifetime's worth of medical privacy would be pissed away in a day, all because he was claiming some medical thing as part of his lawsuit. Now, such a wide scope of James Remine's medical history would not be warranted. Involuntary intrusions into one's medical privacy are typically only allowed to the extent that they are reasonably related to the case at hand. In other words, when James Remine was claiming depression as an injury in this lawsuit, the defense in that case would have the right to take a look at the medical records where James Remine was diagnosed with depression, and that's about it. But, and this is the biggest but in the world, did James Remine know that? Did he know that he could simply place an objection to such overreaching discovery, and the judge would likely rule in his favor and not force him to submit to that discovery? Or did he actually believe that, if the case were to proceed, he would be forced to hand over his entire life's worth of medical records over to some jackass in a suit who, by said jackass's own admission, had the complete opposite of Remine's best interests at heart? Again, because we do not know what exactly was said by Sterling's lawyer, we cannot know for sure if he actually threatened such an overblown
Oh my god, those
intrusion
graphics.
into James Remine's medical
That hut.
privacy.
That menu.
It's almost
I
over.
still feel
It's
it is
almost
something worth
over.
considering if any of you are going to take up my suggestion at the beginning of this video of giving Digital Homicide a second chance. Well, there is one last thing I need to talk about in this video. The lawsuit he filed against the 100 anonymous Steam users. Once again, I cannot see the original lawsuit that was filed because it is gated behind a paywall, so I do not know exactly what the allegations are. Jim Sterling often likes to couch it as saying that Digital Homicide sued the Steam users for saying mean things about them on the internet. However, based on the news articles I have read, the lawsuit was for harassment, stalking, and impersonation. To that end, I defer you to my...
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Yeah, the lawsuit was about harassment, and some stuff, but never about impersonating anybody. That was not a thing in the lawsuit. I have it on an external disk or something. But that was never a thing.
Plus, we not even look like them.
What do you mean?
Well,
No,
I posted the
impersonate.
group.
Yeah, well, we have the same name with an S at the end.
Yeah, but even looking at those two groups, you'll be like, one claiming want to clean green light, and another, well, digital homicide.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so cool and clever to talk about something without actually knowing what the fuck is going on in the lawsuit. Yeah, I don't know exactly, but from what I heard, it's about. From what I heard, that's basically how the Bible was created. Somebody heard from
Yeah.
somebody who knows the brother of the sister of somebody who heard that, well, and so on. Basically.
And again, it's not like I personally was on Greenlight just to like, where's digital homicide? Where are they? Where are they?
Yeah, exactly. Now we were
I
shitting.
was looking for the games that are going to be released or want to be released.
We were downvoting and commenting on a ton of games, and
And digital homicides, we just knew a little too well.
yeah, and not every bad developer is a scammer, and not everybody tried to silence us by deleting comments. And if you want to silence somebody who's speaking the truth, it might backfire a little bit. So
That's why I'm mentioning comments that live less than a minute. Because I was supposed to make my own screenshots of my own comments that was like 10 to 15 seconds old to then post the screenshots like here's a screenshot with my comment, here it was deleted by the dev.
yeah. Oh, Shady got a shit ton of posts and comments like that. When he posts
Yeah.
something, I think he has, I don't know, tons of freaking screenshots from everything.
Well, you know that by definition of that particular YouTube guy, that's not a that's not an evidence because it is pathetic if you have it. After all those years.
Since I was shitting on the graphics and the menus before, why the fuck is every button a different size? And why the fuck is exit in the middle and not at the bottom where it belongs? Yeah. Then you have that three-headed lava dog there, and they just cut off the back part for the top right. Oh, we cannot resize it. Let's just cut it off.
It resized a bit, I think.
Whoa. I just went down into the menu to click play, and it moved one frame. What the fuck? Seriously. I'm at 102.11.
Yeah, okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
My earlier arguments about how none of us deserve that kind of verbal abuse that Sterling himself, let alone these anonymous Steam users, leveled at Digital Homicide. So unless I could see the exact comments verbatim left by these Steam users, I'm inclined to give Digital Homicide the benefit of the doubt. After all, when I discussed the kind of verbal abuse that none of us deserve, I even shared with you just a handful of extremely vulgar comments that people left on my videos and Reddit posts. Admit it, the vast majority of
I'm
you
watching
felt I was
you.
absolutely
Yeah.
justified in blocking those people, weren't you? So,
I'm
as you
more
can see
than,
from that example, I
relate
am
to
willing
those
to give
comments.
Digital Homicide the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
seeing as I can no longer see the exact comments that were posted against him. However, based on the secondhand research I was able to cobble together, the 100 anonymous Steam users listed as
100.
defendants in this lawsuit were not chosen at complete random. Rather, they were chosen because they were all part of a Steam group called Digital Homicide Poop Games.
Okay, pause. If you talk about people or groups, get your shit together right. We're called Digital Homicides with an S at the end. Yes,
Yep.
the real group name as it is in Steam itself is always the one in the brackets, and that is Poop Games. The original owner of the group changed the game or the group name to Poop Games in general to get away from the Digital Homicide part. Then I took over, and the first thing I did, name it back to Digital Homicides. I was actually hoping and waiting for them to try and sue us. The thing is, they didn't really name anybody, but I guess he talks about that. If they wanted to sue me, they would have. Well, first, I can afford a lawyer. I have an insurance for that. The most important insurance that I have. I rather have no health insurance, but for lawsuits and shit, I have a freaking insurance. So no matter what they would have tried, they needed to sue me here in Germany. So that would have never happened. So
Same with me. They must sue me in Russia.
yeah. So I'm kinda sad that I wasn't in the United States because well then I wouldn't have had the insurance. But the original owner of the group is from the United States, and he was kind of afraid that they will get him. Since I'm not afraid about shit like that, yeah, I took over, and well, the rest is history. Alright, well, it's Digital Homicides with an S, so he doesn't even get his facts right. It was
I
two.
can say even more. We didn't delete shit.
We didn't. No, it's still everything there. The only stuff that we deleted were we only deleted a handful of things, and those were low
We
level.
deleted some sort of trolling, some sort of harassment from developers,
Mm,
and I do remember that some people tried to organize us to download certain games they personally didn't like.
yeah, well, we all mentioned in one thread, which is still existing with, I don't know, with a shit ton of pages. The moment somebody saw a bad game or an asset flip or a game from a scammer or whatever, we posted about it and, well, let the others in the group know about what they found out. So if somebody
Yeah.
found out that a developer is scamming people, well, we talked about it. That was the main reason for the group the main reason for the group was to tell people about background stuff that they would not know because, well, they just go to Greenlight, see a game, oh yeah, cool. But we already know more about it. So we already knew they renamed their account. They had alias accounts to upvote their own shit. Same with reviews. And they organized in different groups as well, the shitty developers. I don't have all the names in my head now, but there used to be, in quotes, companies who tried to push and support crappy developers. And
Triton, I don't see green light warnings.
where? In
the group.
Huh?
Most message I see is just what this digital homicide sues Steam users for personal damage from Sid.
Yeah, that's the booster group shit. That was a thing. Asset pack info thread. That should be in here. Yeah. Yeah, here, developer blacklist, for example. That's in the developer discussions.
Okay. I was forgetting about.
Yeah, we have several. Not like other groups. Our forum is like crazy. We have so many sub forums.
Wait a second. I don't see so. Oh yeah, I'm not logged in. Okay, my bad.
Oh yeah, and here about digital homicide. There's some shit in here. I mean, it's everything is here. I mean, we have some reported posts in here, but yeah, we basically have all the shit still here.
Yeah, green light warnings. 7,269 messages. Nice.
Over 7,000. Was it in green light? Yeah,
Yep.
here, green light warnings. Yeah. And it basically kind of ended 2017 because now it's just way too much to report. And yeah, so yeah, we basically posted all the links here, making people known about some stuff. And yeah, 146 posts. But we had another thread as well where we showed games directly.
Games Direct didn't live long enough.
But yeah, it's still everything there. So if you want to find out about it, hey, go there.
Warning archive, for example.
Yeah, we have a shit ton of stuff there. So, all right. Well, let's try to get through with the video because I kind of need a bio break soonish.
Yeah, and I'm getting tired with this guy.
Yeah, same for me. But yeah, no, I need a short break. So yeah, otherwise I'm not gonna make it. I'm not making it through the video otherwise. All right. So yeah, I will be right back. I'm gonna deafen you, so you don't have to say anything. I have to unmute here as well. I don't have my mute button on my Stream Deck for the Digital Homicide. Okay. Yeah, well, he already got a few things wrong, but for the real shit that he's gonna shoot himself an arrow to the knee.
Yeah, basically, that last phrase is the sole reason why we're suffering through second stream with that.
Exactly. It started with the impersonation stuff, but it gets better. So I'm at 1-3-23.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
A Steam group dedicated to review bombing Digital Homicides games, leveling cuss-filled attacks at Digital Homicide, and making sure as many people as possible understood just how shitty Digital Homicides games were.
Yeah, that yes, but we didn't review bomb.
Things this Steam group purportedly had
I didn't
done
even own
include,
single
but are not
game from
limited
Digital
to,
Homicide.
sending
Okay, pause.
Hey.
We have to go back. Don't talk too much over him, please, because he's saying some shit there.
Yeah, okay.
Go to one.
Well, basically, I want to mention that I don't own even single game from Digital Homicide.
You don't?
Nah.
You don't?
Mm-hmm.
How did you manage to not have any Digital Homicide game?
I don't need that shit.
Wait a second. do I have my own? Yeah, I have those that I didn't forget about. I have 11 games in my Digital Homicide collection. 11. And I have even more from itch.io. So I have over 3 gigabytes of their shit games on my freaking system. So yeah, the beautiful games that I have: Attrition, Nuclear Domination, The Decimation of Olarath. Oh my god, that's field of view. I don't know how they game, but the field of view of some games is just horrific. And that one, The Decimation of Olarath, holy shit, insane. Forsaken Uprising, Croc Wars, Mini Attack Submarine, The Slaughtering Grounds, Winged Knights, Penetration, Withering Kingdom, Arcane War, and Withering Kingdom, Flurry of Arrows, Wild Derp, and Wild Derp 2. The difference between those two, yeah, Wild Derp is from behind, Wild Derp 2 is from the top, or the other way around. I don't remember. So yeah,
Basically, different camera angle and nothing more.
Well, to be honest, The Slaughtering Grounds, as far as I remember, was their first game.
Yep.
As a tech demo, okay, but
I think they used to be called Imminent Uprising before that. Or something.
I don't remember that. But The Slaughtering Grounds, from a few points, I don't want to say it looked promising, but it looked like something. But that was at the beginning with all the assets and all that stuff. But yeah, we know it's shit, so.
Yeah.
And
basically, if we look at some developers' progression and we'll see rises and falls, this Digital Homicide is pretty much flatline.
Yeah, kinda. Born dead. Okay, I'm at 1-3-40.
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Among the most atrocious things this Steam group purportedly had done include, but are not limited to, sending a box of literal feces to them in the mail, calling James Romine's wife a whore, and donating some bits of money to his GoFundMe account before immediately retracting those donations, leaving Digital Homicide with the burden of paying the merchant's fees, but without any incoming money to show for it.
Okay, pause. I don't know about anyone sending them shit because nobody had the address from them.
Jim Sterling, I think, mentioned about somebody sent them shit.
Yeah, but it was nobody from the group. At least I don't know anybody who had the address, the private address.
Basically, we didn't endorse it, and if somebody did it, that
I mean, we had some.
we don't know where they live. How we could coordinate that?
Yeah, first that, and second, there have been really negative and bad and harassing threats, and we did take care of those because that's nothing that we ever support into the group. Those were also a few posts that we removed because they were kinda asking for direct attacks or something, and we did not support that. The only thing that we wanted to do was letting people know that somebody takes assets and sells them as a freaking game, and they don't.
Basically, we wanted to spread awareness.
Yeah, that's what we did. We spread awareness. That's it, it says exactly that in the description of the group. That was our credo, to inform people about malicious behavior and shady developers. That's what it says in the description, and that's what we did. We just wanted to let those people who just go on Steam to play a game and don't care for background info or whatever. Well, we did care for that to protect customers or from paying money for something that's not working or it's not worth paying money for. So that's what we did. We never really, well, we did inform about shit games in the group, and yes, we obviously wanted our members to download the stuff, but we only mentioned it that that game has those and those backgrounds or whatever. What they did, what every user did, was their own decision. We never said you have to go there and vote. No, we posted a link to the Greenlight page. We said our opinion about it. What everybody did was their own doing. And
what we asked for reports, like games that clearly broke Steam rules, like
censoring,
shady deals. I mean shady deals, giveaways for games that are not even released on Steam, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
that type of stuff. We asked for reports for that.
Exactly, and the members, well, I personally invited around roughly 700 users or so to the group, and
probably me as well.
And most of the people that are in, or pretty much everybody that I invited, already was posting in those games, and they showed with their post that they dislike what those developers are doing to the legit Greenlight developers, because well, now we have Steam Direct, which basically opened the floodgate for any scammer or whatever, with thousands of games released per month, which was not a thing with Greenlight back then. So
it was bad, but not that bad.
Yeah, there was at least the imaginary way to vote for or against something. What Steam decided was their doing, and they didn't care if there was 5,000 downloads and 1 upvote. If they thought, yeah, that makes sense, well, the votes were not a guarantee that a game will not be released. We've seen several games that had thousands of downloads and they still got on Steam for some reason, I mean. And yeah, well.
We also can remember several developers who spammed their games till it was greenlit.
Yeah, or released it.
Like, oh my god, dude, stop posting your games already. People already know you. We already tired with you. It's not like if you posted 101 times, we will start wanted to buy this game.
Yeah, like the Caligula games, for example, which have been reposted a few times. And well, if you want to learn about the downfall of Greenlight and how all the scammers and asset flippers started to become a thing on Steam, I think there's no better place than our group, because we've been there for the whole time.
Yep.
So it is
7,000 posts.
it's all documented there about all the shitty developers, and we had a blacklist thread where we specifically went into details about what developers did outside of Steam. Like,
Was it Melo who started posting in it?
nah, I think that was created by Brandino.
Oh yeah, maybe.
He was one of the users that we sometimes had to calm down a little bit. let me just phrase it like that. He was sometimes a bit over the top, but yeah, still nobody directly got in touch. And from our side, I don't know one person who donated to the GoFundMe. What he explained is exactly what happened, but who did that? I have no idea. It was not done through the group. Maybe it was somebody from the group. I have no idea.
It might be somebody from the group. It might be even somebody from Jim Sterling groups. Fact is, we did not organize that.
Exactly. We just had a place where people could talk about their experiences with games or developers and stuff. So, like getting banned in their forum for speaking up or asking questions and stuff. So, okay.
Or just share stuff like, hey, I saw this game. You might not know this, but this game using this asset packs.
Yeah.
And it's basically that uses trailer from the asset pack. So it's blatant asset flip. Please note this.
Yeah, exactly. We did post proof about stuff that we found out. We didn't just shit on a developer for making a bad game. I mean, there are enough developers who try to make games, but they're still shit. Because they have no idea how to develop a game.
At least not in group, not on a professional level. Professional.
I mean, there were the booster groups who try to boost those shit games.
Yeah.
We never did that, so I mean, not to the extent that he is
did not
saying it.
Booster groups again promised giveaways and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not like they done it for free.
Oh no. They got paid either in keys or maybe money. I have no idea what they did in the background completely. Okay, 1 for 11.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so let me get this straight. James Romain sued these guys for harassment and stalking because they had literally colluded with each other. Literally colluded with each other to form a Steam group dedicated to harassing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about Digital Homicides when I joined the group. Digital Homicide.
Yeah, and
somebody just invited me, maybe you, and I was like, yeah, I like what those people are doing. I'm pretty much with it.
Yeah, and I mean, uh,
Nobody said to me that I supposed to personally dislike Digital Homicide. Nobody said to me that I must buy games from Digital Homicide to review bomb them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
because
I became a mod and now I'm an admin.
yeah, you need to own a game before you can review it. That was a thing back then already. You couldn't review a game that you didn't own. So, not a lot of people actually bought their games. I got most of the games that I have from Digital Homicide were through Groupies, for example, a page where you could get a lot of shitty games.
Yeah, Digital Homicide tried to boost their games with free keys.
Yeah, or just being in bundles, and I still have so
Yeah.
many keys and shit and even currency. They
Biggest hit on their income was when they lost Steam cards.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Digital Homicide was the first developer who got removed by Valve with everything they had. It was also the first developer
and it's
no
also
cards.
the first developer who lost the cards.
Yeah, they took away everything. They removed the cards from trading. You can only and from buying. You can still trade them and you can make gems out of them, but you cannot sell them anymore. Because I think it's 20 or 30% that a developer gets from sales for backgrounds, emotes, and cards and all that shit. So, but yeah, 1433.
Mm-hmm.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
And stalking him. And that lawsuit was somehow frivolous? How? How is that lawsuit frivolous? What do you actually believe what I alluded to earlier on this video, that game developers need to take not just criticism, but completely vulgar abuse, like they're in the goddamn army? Or do you not even care if the lawsuit was frivolous or not, but literally anytime Digital Homicide does anything in any way, shape, or form, you're automatically going to assume it's frivolous no matter what? Before we wrap up, there is one aspect of this lawsuit that I want to talk about: the impersonation. Now, as a matter of law, impersonation is when you pretend to be someone else, either to leech off their reputation, e.g. to get a loan on their credit, or to maliciously sabotage that person's reputation. Because I cannot see the lawsuit in question, I do not know exactly what the allegations are that pertain to impersonation. However, there is one thing I was able to see, since Jim Sterling had kept the screenshots for this and used them in his videos, that seems an awful lot like impersonation. The 43 games Digital Homicide purportedly uploaded to Steam Greenlight before Valve restricted their right to upload games to Steam. What makes me think it was an act of impersonation, you ask? Well, I do not know everything about how Steam Greenlight works, and since Steam Greenlight has been replaced with Steam Direct, I cannot reliably research it.
Okay, pause.
Let's just finish with it. I think he'll say exactly the same thing till the end of the video. And then we'll pause at least till the end of the segment. We don't need his ending card and whatnot.
Yeah, I try to stop that. But the thing is, I mean, he goes into detail about that. First, why would we upload their games? For those who don't know, back in the day, it cost $100 to get the developer badge, and that gave you the right to upload as many shit as you wanted.
Second, how we would upload from Digital Homicide account?
Exactly. that would need some hacking, for example.
And
And
Valve would notice if something like that happened.
exactly, and I mean, Digital Homicide would know it as well.
And Valve wouldn't delete them if that was a genuine hack.
But just from a logical point of view, why, if you want somebody gone, why would we upload their games to Steam if you want them gone? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Nobody.
I have a different question.
Yeah.
Do we have games listed in this green light list in any other, let's say in itch.io? Can we find games listed on screenshot of the green light page in itch.io under Digital Homicide banner?
I mean, yeah, all the games are on itch.
Yeah, I mean, can you open right now itch.io and find Digital Homicide?
Oh yeah, by the way, side note, Game Advantage has a sale. So if you want to save a shit ton of money, now is the best time. At the moment, 25% store-wide and 10% of my code Triton is added on top, so you can get 35% off. Are there as Digital Homicide in there? Slaughtering
Maybe a
Ground.
Slut Tooth.
I'm just looking for Slaughtering Grounds. Oh.
Yeah, why not? Might work as well.
That's not there anymore. What?
What?
itch.io, the page that doesn't care about the quality of the games.
It's not like all the games on itch.io are bad.
No, there are good games on it as well. But their quality standards are lower.
Yeah. And you can definitely get some games for free.
No, I don't find Digital Homicide. I didn't find White Derp. I didn't find Slaughtering Grounds.
You
What
can't
was
even
it?
find Loot Tooth.
No.
Huh.
What the
Wait
fuck?
a second. And there was a bundle of Digital Homicide games, or that was a Steam bundle.
What else could I look for? Logwas? Ah. Well, I thought that they're still on itch.io.
I thought so as well.
I'm kind of surprised. What was the other page of them?
I think blog post already gone. There is Twitter, as far as I know.
A Digital Homicide, the death of books. Interesting. Did their website is gone? What?
Yeah, I noticed that like several
Oh, they
months
had
ago.
Indie Gala. They had an Indie Gala store as well. Yeah. Okay, wait. Let me check
Yeah, I
that.
can't go on Indigala right now.
Okay. So, this here links back to this. No, that works. Okay. Does it? Okay, the Indigala store works. The other website does not work anymore. So, that one is gone. They have what? They have 151,000 followers on Twitter? Are you fucking kidding me?
That was when they gave away games. They are
Holy
games, but still
shit.
games.
Last post was, oh my god, come on, I'm not logged in. That's the reason why it's wait, can I go in here? Let me go in here. 150,000. Holy shit. The last post was August 2020 about the Valve abuse, but yeah, the website is not there anymore, so. The website they wanted to use for coming back and telling the world how bad everybody is to them, and
Yeah, and I wanted to react to a couple of articles from that website, but it was like, we can talk about this for 5 minutes, we can talk about this for 10 minutes. I wanted for them to post a little bit more on that site, and now when it's gone, I'm a bit disappointed.
yeah,
That I was the one who didn't push the idea.
me too, because I don't remember which of the brothers, but it was only run by one of the brothers.
I can see what we needed to see from that image.
Yeah. What that?
Wait, yeah.
And yeah, one brother threw the other one under the bus basically, and made it sound like it was mostly the idea of the other brother not running the new page anymore. The new page
Yeah.
was
The one who was most vocal.
yeah. It was digitalhomicide.uncensored.com, but it's not existing anymore. So this page doesn't it's not there anymore. So yeah, if you want to
I
get a
sent
few
the
games,
screenshot.
yeah, that's the one that he used in the video as well.
Just bring the screenshot on the screen.
Wait, let me copy that. Ooh, that's small. Yeah, got it. So yeah,
Not in my crapper. And we can see on Digital Homicide Uncensored, not in my crapper. I wonder if Digital Homicide uploaded this game themselves.
And this is one of the games this year. It's basically 5 times exactly the same game.
Yep.
Uploaded in like 15 to 25 minutes or so, which you could see exactly at the release. So yeah. Yeah, but if you want to enjoy their games, have fun. Get a bucket because you might need it. The performance and everything of those games is really shit. And yeah, trust me, I played all of them. I played all those.
Bring me back on screen.
Temper Tantrum. Wait, why are you not on? Oh, yeah, wait. Oh, here, there we go. I had the screenshot still open. Okay, well, back to the video and his total nonsense that he's talking about. He doesn't know the lawsuit, but talks about it.
However,
Oh, wait.
one thing I do
Oh.
know
Okay.
And we
One.
just checked in the gala and saw the game that was uploaded by Digital Homicide, but maybe not by his opinion.
Yeah, well, that was 2020. That's like 4 years after Greenlight was closed. So uploading stuff now doesn't make any sense, and it's not part of the lawsuit anyway. Okay, again, I'm at 1630.
1630.
All right, 3,
Uh-huh.
2, 1, go.
About Steam Greenlight is that every game submission, even those games that didn't get enough votes to get on Steam proper, came with a non-refundable $100 filing fee. This means that for Digital Homicide to upload these 43 different games onto Steam Greenlight all at once, it would have cost the Remind brothers more than $4,000.
Was it 100 per
Do
game?
you know what the Remind...
Pause.
Was it 100 per game?
No, it was 100 per privilege. Remember that we used to think as well that it was 100 per game.
Yeah, it was just 100 to get the developer badge. Right?
Yeah, and that was... we figured it out way later. We also thought that it was $100 per game, so like now with Steam Direct.
Mm.
So yeah, I can't say anything about that he thinking the same way right now, but I in the comments of his video I linked archived Greenlight page, where was mentioned that it was $100 per privilege to do that, and you can upload basically as many games as you want.
Yeah, that was exactly what we.
And my comment was deleted.
That was exactly what we wanted to have changed. That if you wanted to become a developer on Steam, it should have been much more expensive. So at least 500 plus would have been okay, because if you're a legit developer, you know when you put $500 in there, you need to make something that brings you back those 500 at least. So in my opinion, it should be at least 500 to get a developer badge, and then a minimum of $100 or $200 per game uploaded into the store. Only then.
I can't say anything about that because I still consider small developers and whatnot. But yeah, I can see your point.
Yeah, but if I personally want to make a game and I want to become a developer, I try to make money from it. So when I already know, hey, okay, the first game that I upload cost me at least $700, that means I need to put in a bunch of hours to make sure that I will get those 700 at least back. If you release a game for 50 cents, yeah, some people will buy it, but not like a few thousand, but maybe less than 100. So you will not make back that money with one game. So if your game is good, yeah, people will buy it. If your game is shit, people won't buy it, or are collectors who have too much money and they buy it when it gets released, when it gets removed. Which I really dislike, that people have to collect everything to grow their digital penis on Steam. But
so basically, he is wrong about that, and Digital Homicide spent only $100 to upload all of their games and not just last 33.
But the fun part comes now, when he explains a little bit more in detail. 1702. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Could have done if they had $4,000 just burning a hole in their pocket? Why were they representing themselves against Jim Sterling if that was the case? For $4,000, you can get, well, not a great lawyer, but at least a decent one. Why was he attempting to raise money for a lawyer through PayPal or GoFundMe if he already had $4,000 to spare? Okay, you're probably thinking right now, maybe the Remind brothers weren't actually as broke as they claimed to be. Except, no, you can't really argue that, because as I mentioned earlier, Jim Sterling himself freely admitted that they were judgment-proof. If they had $4,000 to burn, Sterling would almost certainly have demanded that they reimburse him for at least a portion of his legal fees. So no, I can only think of one explanation as to how this could possibly have happened, while still keeping the Reminds judgment proof. Somebody must have stolen Digital Homicide's login and password and uploaded all of these games on Digital Homicide's behalf, specifically with the intention of getting Valve to restrict their upload privileges, or at the very least in an attempt to enhance the public perception that Digital Homicide...
Yeah,
Boss.
yeah.
Why Digital Homicide never mentioned that somebody hacked their account?
That's one point. The other point
And
is...
that's all that you need to know, basically.
The other point is, even if it would have costed $4,300, isn't there already kind of fail in the logic that if they put that much money in by uploading 130 games or 40 games or 50 games or whatever, how long does it take to develop a game? More than a week. So even if they had to pay that much, why did they upload that many games and not just one or two games and make money and then use that money to upload the next game, make money, upload the next game, and so on? So that we talk about like 2, 3, 4 years in total maybe for all their games, but no, it was done in months. So
He's speaking like somebody who want to earn money on Steam.
yeah. And the thing is, why the fuck, if I had $4,000, you think I would try to hurt a developer by uploading their games after I...
If I had $4,000, I wouldn't even think about sending those money to Digital Homicide in any way.
Yeah, why?
Even if including uploading those games.
Why would you? I mean, are we stupid? Are we the ones with the freaking big bank accounts having nothing better to do
We
than...
also had a group named 100 Better Ways to Spend $100. I think we stopped somewhere 50 plus, but still.
Yeah, it's...
We talked about the $100 and here 4,000.
Yeah, but still, even if, I mean, why would we pay money for discrediting somebody like that and do illegal stuff, hacking their account and uploading for them?
Yeah,
Why?
basically, if we do something like that, our credit information would be in Valve. So Valve would be like, we received money from here, and now we received money from there.
Yeah, that as
Yeah,
well.
that's wrong.
and yeah, uploading for somebody else, and that person is not getting in touch with Valve. Yeah, totally makes sense. And if we just uploaded the games and didn't change anything in their account, they would have gotten the money, not we. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense from any point of view.
It makes sense in his point of view because we're a big scary group that doesn't even supposed to exist.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think about, dude, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with your common sense and your logic? Are you
already wrong with 4,300?
Yeah, okay, but
credit of the doubt. You can't get onto Greenlight page, Steam page right now.
yeah, but that's info that not everybody had. So it was we thought the same. So
Yeah,
That's okay. That's I don't have a problem with the $4,300. I have a problem with the logic that we as a group would put money together, hack their accounts, upload for them their games for them, because we needed all their games as well. Where did we get all their games from? Did we hack their computer as well?
Yeah, and
For what?
we basically looked at Indie Gala and looked at a screenshot from Greenlight. We saw one game at least in Indie Gala and on those on that Greenlight page.
Yeah, well, creating an account somewhere else in their name would also be stupid, but that would be more realistic than taking a Steam account, hacking that account, then uploading to that from a completely different country maybe as well. So let's say I was the one coordinating that
from a completely different billing address.
Yeah, that's the next thing. So I mean, that logic has a hole that's huge. Okay.
Tiny crack is just a small hole compared to this hole in this logic.
Okay, let's get through here because it's almost 6 and in an hour from now I have to do a charity stream. All right.
It's several seconds. Screw that.
1:8:26.
It's just several seconds. After that, his finishing segment, basically. We're done with that.
Okay, then just go.
Sideware shovelware developers of the highest order. At that point, well, that's called impersonation. And the Remind brothers absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, had the right to seek redress through the court system. The lawsuit was not frivolous.
We never said that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I have given you all something to think about. Digital Homicide may have gone overboard with their Review the Reviewer video, but Jim Sterling still threw the first punch.
Yeah.
However, after that one single solitary overreaction on Digital Homicide's part, literally everyone else are the ones who just couldn't let it go. The Reminds might have screwed up once, but they did not deserve even 1% of the harassment they got. Packages of feces, death threats, monetary sabotage by exploiting GoFundMe's terms and conditions. Hell, even if they really did spam Steam with low-effort asset flip garbage, they still did not deserve anywhere near
even
that
if
level of
they
abuse. And then, when Digital
I forgot about that game.
to seek justice through the court system, Valve decided that this was Digital Homicide crossing the line. Never mind the fact that the people harassing him had already pole vaulted over the line many times over. No, Digital Homicide was the one who was being hostile towards Steam users, not the other way around. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe you all owe Digital Homicide an apology. I certainly don't owe them an apology.
Digital Homicide asked for personal information of anonymous users in intent to sue them.
Yeah, and
How it's not hostile? What he said? How it's not hostile towards hostility to Steam users?
Yeah, and the thing that he doesn't mention, when Valve didn't react, they kinda wanted to sue Valve to give out the information.
Oh yeah, that as well.
And
They
that's
basically wanted to pressure Valve to release confidential information.
and it's kinda sad. I mean, Valve knew that the Romines have nothing in their hand, and it's like when I want to sue Microsoft for something. I mean, they have like, I don't know, I guess 20 or 30 lawyers who doesn't who don't do anything else than doing shit for that company. So trying to be a small indie developer who wants to sue a multi-million or multi-billion dollar company like Valve, yeah, that's a clever idea. So they did what was their right. They pulled the plug. So seriously, yeah, they wanted to have our private information for pointing out our opinions, basically. And yes, there have been a few bad posts and maybe some threats, but not coordinated by our group. We had members who did that, and we did kick 1 or 2 members as well who actually did that, because that's nothing that we ever supported. We didn't support the Gamergate bullshit back then, when Sarkeesian, or what her name was, started with all that bullshit. We didn't support direct
anti-Gamergate.
Yeah, but with
you mean towards her? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, back then with that woman. But yeah, I lost my my thought.
Basically,
We didn't support.
Was consumer awareness and not coordinating attack,
Exactly.
break, somebody's image, or militarizing group of Steam users in any way, shape, or form.
We did never support direct attacks or private attacks or whatever. Also doxing or something like that. We were always against stuff like that, and that's stuff that you can actually also read about. We had some posts, we had some rules and guidelines, and
some rules a bit fresher than others, but still, it was put in rules. So we basically,
I mean, we have almost 2,000 members, and you cannot control every single one. And we're not going after them and reading, oh, what did he post here? What did he post there? Sometimes a member told us, hey, he posted this and that, and then we talked to that user that we don't support that, and they should change that or delete their post or whatever. Because we didn't want that.
I had talks with Melo like that. Well, in a different group, but still.
Yeah, I had some conversations to a few people that I don't want to name.
Well, I mean, Melo talked with me.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna play. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Because I never harassed them like that. But I definitely believe Valve should reinstate Digital Homicide's account, and this time actively police the harassment that customers have leveled against them. It's one thing to leave a negative review. It's quite another to send death threats, attack the person's family, issue repeated cuss-filled harassment, and issue chargebacks for the sole purpose of costing them merchants' fees. At the very least.
Yeah, well, now we saw his name, but okay, at the very least.
Convince Nintendo to give them a chance on the Nintendo eShop, because they seem to be just as welcoming to newbies as Steam or even the Google App Store. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Acer Thorn out.
Well, I guess it's literally time to end. It's midnight for me.
Yeah, please bring Digital Homicide to Switch. Please do that, because Nintendo doesn't have any quality standards. They will be like, oh yeah, please come to the Switch. Shit in our store, because we don't care.
Not only Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony as well.
Yeah, no, but he actually mentioned Nintendo, that Nintendo should open their store for Digital Homicide to give them a chance. Why? Just why? Okay.
Because he wants to stack it to Jim's.
So yeah, you could all see the name of that YouTuber. Feel free to go on his channel and search for that video, comment below it.
I'd say don't, because it will tease the algorithm to start promoting this content. And basically, all of his content like that. Forget about him, don't even interact with him. He's definitely a definition of negative charisma.
Yeah, and he doesn't get his info straight fully, so yeah,
And
so
basically we didn't even bother to invite him or something like that because we're too small for him.
yeah, that's a different thing. But as you can see here on the side, and that list is absolutely not complete at all. But there are several games that are not even from Digital Homicide, so there are a lot of shitty games in here. And is Day 1 still on Steam, actually?
I think not.
Yeah, you cannot buy it anymore. Ah, finally. That was actually a promising game. It was just a shit developer. But
yeah, I know, I voted for that as well.
yeah, I mean, it looked interesting and all, but it's just broken mess. Okay, well, that kind of concludes that video, finally. Ooh, that will be some long streams again. Okay, well. Yeah, maybe we should do that, because that's one website and we don't have to rely on shit like IGN or some bullshit like that. Yeah, me neither. Alright, well, I mentioned it before. I will be live in about 55 minutes on the channel that I just posted. It's a small event supported and promoted by HitSense, the publisher of the game Yolked. That will also be the game that I play. I have a special streamer edition, and it's Thanksgiving. So special background art and Thanksgiving related skins and stuff like that. Game is on sale as well for $7.99. And that's what I'm gonna play. Yeah, so if you want to see that, if you want to see me fail in this game, it's a bit like getting over it. And yeah, well, I'm talking about it, but you cannot actually see that because I have my other screen on. All right. Well, Lothar, as always, famous last words. All right, Lothar, thanks for hanging out, as always. You have a good night, and we talk soon. So, bye. Okay.